everyone, it's Cathy Zielske. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and the craft/dining room. Today I'm sharing something that I'm calling 2 strikes and a hit. I had this idea to use an embossing folder. I thought the idea was solid, but as you will see, I make the mistake not once, but twice. And I wanted to share the mistakes because here's the thing. When you're playing and coming up with ideas, sometimes you're gonna mess up. You can quit, get discouraged, or you can just say to yourself, it's just paper. It's just paper. So if you mess up, don't get discouraged, just stay with it. I had to pivot, make some different decisions, and in the end, the card turned out great, but I'm excited to show you the mess ups because, yeah, I mean, what else am I gonna do? Stick around for my 2 strikes and a hit coming up next. I don't even really watch baseball. I don't. I'm starting out here and sharing the hit because I think once you see the misses, right, the strikes that I'm gonna present to you today, you might feel better when you mess up yourself. It's all about persistence and staying with it. Okay, we're gonna start with the supplies. Now, I love 3D embossing folders. This one is called Wildflower Field. Now, I don't really know much about these. This is kind of a new thing for me. They're thick. One side presses up, one side pops out, right? Easy peasy, or so you would think. I picked 3 colors that I thought would look really good together. Got my brushes and I got a piece of paper. This is Neenah Solar White Classic Crest in the 110 pound. And I thought, I got this. So step 1 was I wanted to use my Positively tool, but on this little craft mat, everything kind of slips and slides. And as I was working on this, I thought to myself, I don't love ink blending on these mats because things slide and I have to press my hand down a little harder on the paper. So I don't love ink blending on these mats, and I'm gonna make a change. But these were the colors. I wanted a sunset. I wanted to have that sunset look where you have the purples and the oranges and the yellows and, you know, kind of create that magic ethereal look to go behind my wildflower embossed image. Now I just keep a paper towel, right, and rub my brush over to clean it to the best of my ability. It doesn't have to be perfect, and especially not with oxides. I have my little Post-it here just so I don't leave fingerprints on the oxide blended panel. Because you know how oxides are a little creamy, right? And if you stick your fingers down, you're going to have fingerprints. But that looked pretty good, right? Just going back over, trying to blend it a little bit more smoothly. And there's panel 1. Now, to use this folder in my Spellbinders, I found that if I just had my platform, a little metal adapter plate, and the folder, it gave me just enough pressure. So, got the folder, opening it up, thinking to myself, that's the deboss, that's the emboss, make sure you put it in correctly. Well, you can already guess how we put it in. I don't know what possessed me to flip it over, but flip it over I did. And I thought this was going to look great, you know, ran it through, right, there it is. There's my sandwich for my Platinum 6. Running that through, holding my breath. I was so excited to see how this looked, and when I opened it up, I realized I had it in upside down, and it gave me the deboss instead of what I wanted, which was the emboss. So I thought to myself, okay, all is not lost. Why don't we try to pop some color into that debossed area and really go for a cool silhouette look. So I grabbed some black soot Distress Oxide ink, and I thought, well, I can just swipe this on and it's only going to hit the parts of the folder that are raised. In theory, that should have happened. I don't know if I was just pressing too hard, because you can see how, wait a minute, the ink's going there too, and I decided to maybe wipe it away a little and maybe it wouldn't, you know, make contact with the paper, right? So I put it back through, right? It's still in the same place. And when I opened it up, well, it looked like that. Version number 2. Same colors, right? Blending it down, same process. You know, you don't need to see this in heavy detail, right? So I got my panel ready again. I placed it in, and this time I double checked to make sure I did it properly, right? Put it in so that it would pop up where the color was and not deboss. Ran it through, and what do you know? I did it a second time. I don't know truly where my brain was on this, but I decided, okay, let's try a different way of adding black. So I loaded up my mini brayer, right? Because I thought, well, this'll work. And once I started putting that down, I don't know why ink wasn't showing up. So I just gave up and I just decided, let's just do this again. Let's just swipe it all over and just coat it down. We're going for it. And when I opened this one up, it was like I was looking at it through Vaseline coated glasses. I don't know. I really started to get discouraged, and that's when I realized you need to change colors. You need to start a brand new video and proceed. I realized the colors were off, and I also realized you need to trim that panel down before you emboss. And at this point in time, I wasn't planning on sharing the strikes with you. I just was going to share this because I thought, nope, this is going to work. I'm bringing in the pink, and every time I bring in pink, things turn out really well for me. So these three colors I actually really like together, and as soon as I had the whole panel blended down, I knew it was going to work. So that's what I did. Blending this through, letting it go, creating that nice, beautiful transition between colors. And I thought to myself, okay, this time we are not going to mess up the embossing folder process. And so I triple checked this. Maybe that was the thing. I needed to go 3 times through, made sure that the dipping down part, right, is on the top of the paper. Does that make sense? I don't know. But I still was nervous. I still thought, what if I run this through and the same thing happens, and as soon as it opened up, I heard the choir. The choir was singing, people were cheering, and that's what I wanted. I grabbed some little finger brushes. These are little tiny blender brushes that you can pop on your finger because I wanted to add a little bit of white pigment ink over the blooms. Okay, these come in a tube. They're kind of cool. But I learned this little tip from one of you in comments from a past video who said if you don't want to muck up your white pad, then smush it down on a block first and then pick it up from the block. Apparently Jennifer McGuire shared this also. I need to catch up on more of her videos because I learned so much. But this is smart. Then your pad, right, your white pad's not going to get contaminated. So I just worked my way around, and I thought it would pop up a little bit more than it did, and I'm going to have to layer this quite a bit. I just wanted the flowers to have a bit more pop off the background. And it's simple, right? Just a little highlight, if you will. Doesn't have to be perfect. So I went ahead and, kind of worked my way around and did that. And it was looking good. Just building up the white. And then I had another idea. I thought, what would happen if I just coated this whole block, right, the acrylic block, and just kind of swiped it? Because then it wouldn't touch the background, right? This is a hard surface. And I don't really think it did what I thought it was going to do. So I kind of had to go in and reblend over that. It did add a little light and highlight. So, never say never. I'm always going to try something. Next, grabbed my fan brush, got it wet, and just tapped on some flicks. I love this fan brush. I love it for flicking. It gives such a nice little flickaroo, and that was looking pretty good. So, for the greeting on this card, I decided to cut out the word celebrate from this sentiment strip set, and for the card base, we are going to go ahead and score a USA 2, so it'll be top folding, 4 1/4 wide by 5 1/2 tall. Give that a little press down. And then I'm going to take my T10 marker. This is my Copic marker that I like to color in the sides of sentiment strips. They are printed on white cardstock, but you can give them a swipe with a dark marker, and then they have the look of being printed on black. And I just think that's cool, and the Copic markers dry so quickly. It's a great marker to do that with if you're a fan of those strips. Popping on some thin foam squares to the celebrate, and I've got foam tape on the back of my blended panel, and just popping that down with that gorgeous framing space. I love it. See all the detail? Well, this one's turning out. We're getting there. Now, I thought I would add even a little more detail. I grabbed another brush. This is from a Picket Fence Studio set. It's one of my few really small detail brushes, and I just added a little more white to the petals with this shaped brush. It just made it a little easier to get on the petals themselves. Then I'm taking the backers off of the thin foam squares, adding just a bit of liquid adhesive so that, well, number one, it sticks throughout the bumpiness of the embossing, but also so I can kind of wiggle it into place before I commit. bringing in my T-square and lining that up. Looks great, and press. I love the contrast of that Celebrate with the black and the white on this colorful embossed panel. Looks pretty good. Of course, we're not done. Gotta add a little shine. Gotta boop it up. So, little liquid glue, some gold confetti, and boop. Little dab will do ya, and boop. Pulling that out. Popping down the glue, and I had a little issue here. Had a little issue with the boop, so boop. Okay, we saved the day on that one. Boop. You can't get this far, and well, you could. Hard to say. Boop. And that is it. That took a while to get to, right? A couple of things that didn't turn out at all, so I changed my mind. And I wanted to share that with you because not everything you make is going to make you happy. I see this one on the left. That was another one I did with the same colors, and that's when I realized you gotta move on. You gotta graduate from those colors. You gotta cut your losses. You gotta walk away and start fresh. I hope this inspires you to remember, if something's not working, change your mind. It's only paper. It's only paper. Thanks so much for watching today. I would love to have you become a subscriber to my YouTube channel. And if you do subscribe, be sure to hit the gray bell below the video so that you don't miss the next time I post. Here are a couple other videos that you might be interested in watching. Thanks so much and have a great day.